The sixth house is the house of downfall for Leos, and he's in Saturn. This is the time that I believe he will lose. If he doesn't resign, he will lose this upcoming election. Is Donald Trump having his downfall? Hi, this is Thor Sandalwood, and that's what we're looking at today using astrology. Okay guys, so we're gonna pull up Donald Trump's chart again. If you guys know, I've done videos of Donald Trump in the past, and so I intend for this to be an update type of video, because obviously we have the pandemic going on, we have the unemployment numbers off the hook. They're going 30 million people filed for unemployment. Those numbers will probably increase by this coming Thursday when the new numbers get out. They say that the unemployment rate is about 15%. It's probably actually higher than that because people can't even get in to file their claims. And this is an absolute complete disaster. Everything about it, the pandemic, the economy that comes with that whole thing. So we're going to take a look at his chart. Also, I went to realclearpolitics.com to check out the numbers as far as the polling goes, and they have Biden at 46.8% and Trump at 42.4%. So Biden is in a clear lead at this point in May 12th of 2020. If you guys remember, with Biden's reading, I said in May will be the time that he really shoots up because he's entering his Rahu period. One of the things that I don't think I went over was knowing what type of person Trump really is. And there's a couple yogas I wanted to focus in on, guys. So we know he's a Leo ascendant, and he's got Mars in the first house. And Mars can give you that drive and ambition to really make it to the top, because Mars is the karaka of domination, of war, of conquest. Mars is great for somebody that wants to rise up to the corporate hierarchy, or if Donald Trump would have had a different past and went into the military hierarchy, he probably would have done pretty well there. But obviously we know he went into the business side of things. However, Mars is known as a malefic planet, and he gets that yoga called Ashubha yoga, and it's a malefic planet in the Lagna, which one will be sensuous, will do sinful acts and swallow other people's wealth. So he's got that bad yoga, kind of slanting things in that negative way with Trump. The second yoga that I found was something called Dur yoga. And Dur yoga is when there's a malefic planet in the 10th. So if we go to the 10th house right here, we see there's Sun and Rahu in the 10th. Sun is considered a malefic. For Donald Trump, his Lagna is Leo. It's not necessarily malefic, but it's a natural malefic. So he's got a malefic planet in the 10th house, and the 10th Lord is in a Dashtana house. So his 10th Lord is Venus, and it's in the 12th house of Cancer. And 12th house, as we know, is a Dashtana house. The Dashtana houses are 6, 8, and 12. And what happens with Dur yoga is the text says one will not derive fruits from one's own exertions and is looked down upon by others, highly selfish and intent to deceive others. So when I look at these two yogas talking about the sinful nature, the sensuous nature, the highly selfish and intent to deceive others, I can't fully jump onto that bandwagon that a lot of light workers have jumped on with the QAnon bandwagon, that Trump is some sort of figure to drain the swamp and to get rid of all the excess and arrest all these evil people in government. With his chart, I don't see that. I don't see that he's like this really righteous guy who's like going to save everybody from the day. Also, guys, if we look at his 10th house, with Rahu and the sun in his 10th house. This shows that in past lifetimes, Trump has a lot of inexperience with handling power, because Rahu shows where we're very immature from past lives. So Rahu being with the sun is the karaka of power, of having authority. The 10th house is also a karaka house of authority, one of the significations of it. Rahu's sun means he lacks experience leading and guiding others. So in his own mind, in his own ego, he might believe that he's a great leader, but he really isn't. Because being a good leader isn't about having an ego. Being a good leader is about being able to lead others to the promised land, so to speak. So Rahu's sun, that's why we can see there's this disaster happening that people saw. We saw the pandemic. We saw it coming from January. They said they got the intelligence reports from November that this thing was coming. So there could have been greater preparations to stop this thing. And yeah, he did shut the borders down, but it was kind of a little too late. I saw another news report come out and said if he would have acted 4 days sooner or a week sooner, that the numbers would have been drastically lowered on how this whole outbreak went forth. Now, guys, that does not give China the free pass. So I also want to put that out there, because I know there's a lot of people that they hate Trump and they're just, yeah, he sucked and he didn't do good at all. But it doesn't give a free pass to China. They screwed up big time. World Health Organization basically tweeted and said that this pandemic is not transmissible between humans. Tell me how that is not a major screw up. Okay, so let's take a look at Donald Trump's Mahadasha and Bhukti that he's in. So I did go over that in the past, but we're going to do a refresh. So if you guys remember, soon after Donald Trump got elected, on November 14th, 2016, Donald Trump entered his Jupiter Mahadasha. And his Jupiter Mahadasha is quite lengthy. It lasts all the way till Saturn Mahadasha, which is in November of 2032. So he's going to be in this for a while. So that's the big period. And so he entered that November 14th, 2016. And Jupiter was what gave him that grace. So, and also, if you notice, the Mahadasha right before the election was he was in Rahu. So Rahu gave him that ascent to the 10th house top, the ascent of power there. And then Jupiter gave him that grace of, he was manifesting this being the president. He's the president. And we noticed that even from day one, pretty much, that Donald Trump got in, he was having issues. There were obviously the Russian allegations, the Russian meddling in the election allegations. And then we have people also trying to push for his tax returns. Jupiter is the lord of the 8th house. 8th house has to do with taxes and bankruptcy and that kind of thing. So people were interested, and they're still interested because he's still in Jupiter Mahadasha. But we want to narrow down. So he's in Jupiter Mahadasha, Saturn Bhukti. He entered Saturn Bhukti January of 2019. And he's going to be in Saturn Bhukti all the way till July of 2021. So he still has over a year in this Saturn Bhukti. He's going to be in Saturn Bhukti during the time of the election. And guys, if there's any planet that is the most horrible for a Leo, it's Saturn. Saturn is the planet of defeat for a Leo. No doubt. If I was going to tell a Leo, if I was doing a reading for a Leo and they said, I'm in a Saturn period, I would just be like, this is horrible. I don't think anything good comes from a Saturn period for a Leo. Because Leo rules the 6th house and it rules the 7th house. Saturn also is, besides the 6th house, which is a negative house, Dashtana house that it rules, Saturn is just the enemy planet of the sun. Leo's ruling planet is the sun. So it's the enemy. They are diabolical enemies. The sun and Saturn, they hate each other. They have this enmity between each other. So Saturn is really dragging Donald Trump through the mud right now. Also, he has the double whammy effect of that his Saturn is Saturn's transiting the 6th house of Capricorn. So there's this double whammy of intensification on the 6th house. 6th house has to do with enemies, accusations, cheating, deceit. It has to do with societal problems. And what do we have? The pandemic, the economy's going to crap. So definitely, if you guys just can look on Donald Trump's face, he just has this like just downcast face that the burden of this is like really hitting him super hard, because Saturn is the planet, and we know it's the lord of heavy karma. Things are not going good. And so every day is feeling like pretty much like torture. And I know he gets out on the cameras and we see his ego come out and stuff, but every day is pretty much like torture for Trump because of this Saturn in the 6th house. It's horrible. We also know that Saturn in his chart and his birth chart, it's in the 12th house of Cancer. Okay, so Saturn's in an enemy sign, and it's also in a Dashtana house. So what does this mean? Saturn being in the enemy sign means that his Saturn planets are known as either they're awake, very conscious planets, or they're asleep. When any planet is in an enemy house, an enemy sign, and it's asleep, the planet is just not very conscious of what's going on. So again, he's not being very conscious on what to do about this pandemic, about this disaster. So that's why we're seeing this kind of shoddy reaction to everything. Like I keep asking myself, when is he going to step up and really take charge of this thing and say, this is what we're going to do? And you just see him kind of like not knowing how to handle all this. Yeah, guys, this is the time of the downfall right now. And the 6th house is the house of downfall for Leos, and he's in Saturn. This is the time that I believe he will lose. If he doesn't resign, he will lose this upcoming election based on the energy at the moment right now. Now, I do predict you guys that there is going to be a big event around September and October of 2020. After this event, I'm going to have to do another update, because this event that's happening around the October surprise, this event will change the course of even the predictions right now. So we're always dealing with energies that are changing and in constant flux. So as of right now, I see that the economy is getting worse, more problems, and Donald Trump is going down right now. So if everything stays pretty much as it's going, with the country going down, which I don't see it improving in the near future, very near future, Donald Trump will lose this election. And so that's what I'm predicting, guys. And I know a lot of you guys had questions about the Biden video, because I came out with a Hillary video, and I came out and said Hillary could potentially be president or vice president. That's a potentiality. So I see Hillary Clinton very much involved with the Democrats, whatever the outcome is. And plus, I'm just wondering if Biden's going to be able to last till the election, as far as his cognitive abilities and his health and things like that. That's why I'm a little bit skeptical about if Biden will last, or if something will happen like Biden drops out and another candidate picks up. But it could be Biden. I just don't see that there's a lot of strong planetary support for him right now with his cognitive abilities and his health. And so that's why I'm a little hesitant in just going 100% and saying it's 100% going to be Biden. Guys, I can't say that. I can't guarantee it was going to be Biden. I can say it looks like Trump's going down. It looks like Biden's on the course to win right now, because Biden is on the course to win right now. But anything could happen between now, May, and all the way to November. So many things can happen in this next 6 months or whatever we're dealing with. So yes, Biden's on the trajectory. He won the Democratic nomination. He most likely will win the Democratic nomination. But I was showing you guys with the video with Hillary that there's this loophole that if they think he's not going to do well against Trump, the Democratic National Committee can step in and, you know, Biden gracefully resigns and someone else gets put in there. That could happen. So we can't put our heads in the sand and act like Biden doesn't have serious issues, because he does have serious issues. It's not like it's Biden's fault that he's having these cognitive issues at all. Guys, what do you guys think about what's happening? Please comment down below whether you agree or disagree. Just let me know. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel for more predictions and more readings. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.